Okay, we're on the record.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Fear the Walking Dead Season 1 is over, but we're just getting started here on our season finale recap of Fear the Walking Dead on post-show recaps. And now here are the two guys who say that the only way to survive in a mad world is to podcast the madness. I'm Rob Cesternino. Here's Josh Wigler. Josh, happy finale night.
Happy finale night to you. Are we going to be able to podcast from the sea?
From the sea. I don't know.
What's our wireless situation going to be like out there?
It's so-so.
So-so. CC?
We have like 2 bars out there.
Susu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So long, Susu. So long, season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead. It is in the books.
And hello, CC. Hello, CC.
And we're here live on blab.im to record the episode. And of course, we've got our chat room going. We've got some of our regulars here. Cabin Douche is back with us.
Yes. Oh my God. I can't believe we've been without Cabin Douche for most of this season. What a shame.
So we have just been recording the audio version of the podcast here all through Fear the Walking Dead. But now here we are live tonight on finale night, getting set for next Sunday when we kick off our coverage of the first half of season 6 of The Walking Dead, even though Josh will be at a wedding.
I will be at a wedding, so you guys will have to deal with AJ Mass, who is not somebody you deal with. AJ Mass is somebody you love and embrace. So AJ Mass is going to be filling in for me. That's going to be very fun. And we'll definitely have some time to talk main Walking Dead. Before then, even probably a little bit tonight, but certainly between now and premiere night. But we're locked in. We're in super, super Walking Dead mode at this point. Even though Fear is wrapped up, we are right in the thick of Walking Dead. We got 8 more weeks of this thing before we take that December break. So lots going on here on Post Recaps.
Okay, so here we go. It's the season 1 finale of Fear the Walking Dead. Overall, Josh, what did you think about the way that the 6th episode first season wrapped up?
It was action-packed. It kind of had to be, just considering how many different storylines were going on coming into the finale. You know, everyone was kind of spread around. Nick was with Strand, and Liza's in some other aspect of the compound, and how are the people going to get out of the neighborhood and reunite with everybody? So there was a lot up in the air, and I think that we were wondering about, last week, the penultimate episode, with that whole library raid, and we didn't get to see too much Walker action there. I think I saw somebody on Twitter say tonight, well, I guess we know what they saved the zombie budget for, because this was a very explosive, action-packed episode. It was exciting. Can't say it wasn't an exciting hour of Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, it was really a 2-part episode, I almost felt like. We had the basically, 75-80%, which was sort of like the action-packed finale. And then we had sort of the 15-minute epilogue to the episode here, to the season that ended up taking place at Strand's house. And that's probably the part of the episode I had the most questions about.
As in, how do I get a house like that? When can we end the world so that we can move into Strand's house? These are the questions that I have.
Yeah, a lot to talk through. And of course, so we are here live. We're going to be taking some of your questions. You can post them here on Blab in the chat room, especially if you do /Q and then type your questions. Also, Josh has been collecting some of the questions coming from us, from you guys who are watching the show live on postshowrecaps.com. And we will have all of that. And maybe if you guys are good, maybe we'll even take a couple calls here on blab.im.
Behave yourselves. Behave yourselves.
We'll see. All right. But Josh, overall, did you feel like season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead went out on a high note?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in an interesting spot right now. I can't believe that we're going to have a season of Fear the Walking Dead, or at least start out with the ocean. That seems exciting. That seems fun. I think that I was really skeptical of the show at first, as I know many people were. What do we need another Walking Dead series for? We got enough going on with the main Walking Dead. Do we really need another story to be told on the other side of the country with very normal people, a very basic family situation? Obviously an interesting, complicated family situation, but pretty basic, average people. That's kind of the jam that we're getting on main Walking Dead anyway. So what's really the purpose of this thing? I think Fear the Walking Dead validated its existence this season. I think that we got a lot of interesting stuff with the fall of civilization. I thought was really fun. I thought was really cool. Very interesting look at that stuff. I like these characters a lot more now than I did in that first episode. I would be actually kind of interested to go back and look at that first episode now that we have 6 episodes worth of story from these people, to go back and look and see if I still find that to be kind of a boring, slower episode. I don't know. I enjoyed these past 6 episodes. I think that they went quick. It's only been, I guess it was 7 weeks because we had that 1 week off. But it flew by. It really did. Fear the Walking Dead flew by, and I'm excited to see where the story goes with these characters moving forward.
And it was off for Labor Day, too.
It was off for Labor Day. So that was the missing week. But what do you think, Rob? Because I know you were really not in on that premiere episode, but I feel like we've been getting more and more positive with the series as the season's been progressing. Are you feeling pretty good about Fear the Walking Dead?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it a lot more after that first episode. I think that the premiere was probably the worst of the 6 episodes in my opinion.
Too long. Yeah.
And I think the one thing that sort of tied it in together, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but that first episode ends with them killing Nick's friend. And I think that happens in that same sort of LA River setting where they end up driving through at the end of the episode. So I don't know if that was sort of bookends that they planned it or it was just a coincidence. But ultimately, I think that there was definitely a lot of interesting things that they did in this final episode of the season. And then it's in a curious spot for where we're going to go for season 2, because I believe that they're setting up that they're going to be going out onto this boat on the ocean. And I can't imagine that we're going to be spending too much of future season just
why can't it be Fear the Walking Dead zombie fighting pirates?
Love Boat?
Yeah, Dead Boat.
What are you going to do on the boat every week? You need to have a story.
Whale zombies, somebody in the chat room saying. Contest Scan says whale zombies. I'm down with that. Shark zombies?
Let me ask you this. I mean, is this a scam? Is this a long con that Strand is setting up? Why is Strand letting all of these people hang out with him?
Are you saying like he's going to take them all out on the boat and he's just going to pop them?
Well, I don't think that will be what happens on the show either, but is he basically like our version of the governor here? I mean, he seems like he's this fascinating character, and he has a really great backstory. How does he have this house? How does he have this boat? How does he have all of these things? I mean,
he's a closer. He's a closer. That's a sports position, right?
I guess so.
It's a pitcher. Yeah,
sure.
How does he have all that money? I have no idea. It's a fantastic question. What is he planning on doing with this boat? He's saying you got to be on the move. This seems like a guy who's in tune with the way to survive this new world order. So I trust his instincts that we should be roaming. We shouldn't be staying in one place. As awesome as my house is, let's hit the road or the ocean, as it were. Are we going to be on a boat for the entirety of season 2 of Fear the Walking Dead? Absolutely no chance. But I do think that we'll spend some time there. I think it'll be fun. I don't know what Strand's reasoning is for staying linked in with Madison and Travis, other than I guess I needed some warm bodies to help me get back to my house. But beyond that, I'm not really sure. You know, he seems like a guy who is more of a loan shark rather than a guy who invites a lot of people out to hang out with him and the sharks.
When you say a loan shark, you mean like he lends money to people and then jacks up the interest rates, or he is like a somebody who is flying solo?
Yeah. I think I meant lone wolf, but my head is in the ocean right now. The only animals I can think of are the ones that are.
You never know. I mean, he was a bit of a loan shark with the cufflinks. That was sort of a loan shark type thing.
Yeah, what a dick getting the cufflinks back, but he leaves the guy with the watch. He was real jerk to that guy as he was dying.
Yeah.
some crap moves.
That guy was like, kill me. He's like, you're on your way.
Yeah, it's happening right now. You're almost there. It's almost there.
But so in terms of Strand, I have to feel like that something bad is happening, because why would he want
Do you think that he's friends with a bunch of pirates and he's bringing them out to his pirate friends?
I don't know what he's got going on, but is he going to trade this family? I mean, it was one thing when he just wanted Nick and that was going to be sort of his manservant. I got that. Why does he want a posse of Maddie, Travis, Chris, Alicia, Daniel, Ophelia, Liza too?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He caught a break with that. Yeah. But ultimately, I mean, why does he want this family of stragglers hanging out at his house, eating his food? I mean, stuff is going down now. This is it. This is the zombie apocalypse. Does he have supplies for 8 or 9 on that boat?
Yeah, and he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who is going to waste those supplies on people that he considers to be buyers, as he described it to, what was his name again? Gary or Doug? It was Doug, not Gary. Mm-hmm. He gave that whole speech about you're a buyer, I'm a closer, and talking about how this is a guy who entrusts his life and his security in a paper statement, a promise from a corporation. And a lot of these people, he seems like the kind of guy who wants to if he's going to align himself with anyone, he's going to align himself with the grifters, the people who are capable of lying and being deceptive and being, manipulative and being tricksters. And I think that that's why he liked Nick. That's why he said, don't sell yourself short. You've got the gold standard of addiction. You're a heroin addict. And he saw things in Nick that he felt could benefit his game to getting out of this situation. I don't know that there are, the people that we're talking about here. I don't know that these are those types of people. Alicia, does she have like confidence person capabilities in her? Or Chris? Chris seems like a really soft-hearted guy. I guess we could talk through what Travis is going to look like in season 2. I'd actually really like to talk about that, given where he ended with Liza and everything. But the Travis that we knew throughout season 1 was a really soft guy who was not ready to move into this world. So I don't know. I don't know that this is the type of group that Strand would want to align himself with, would want to team up with and bring out into the water with him. But it seems like that's what he's doing, unless you're right, unless he has some sort of trick up his sleeve. So what do you think? What do you think Strand's plan is with these guys?
I don't know. I feel like he's sort of like the Ben Linus of the Fear the Walking Dead, and I think that he's setting these people up to be in some sort of a bad position. I mean, he is no humanitarian, Strand. He did not let the other people out of the cages when he had the opportunity. I think he said, and I didn't write the line down to Nick about how, you can't be helping other people. So we know that about his character already. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting going into season 2. But I think you're right in terms of Travis, because I think that that's really the headline from tonight's episode. Not so much that Liza died in this episode, which got me on the board in the death draft, and I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
However, it was Travis who is the person who pulls the trigger. It was Travis who delivers the beatdown on Reynolds after he shoots at Ophelia.
We're still going to call him Reynolds. Let's do it. It's fine.
What's his new name?
I think it was Adams, whatever. I don't care. Let's call him Reynolds. That's fine.
Whatever.
I'm good with that.
And so
outside Providence.
It was Travis who finally got the wake-up call in this episode that he started off by letting Reynolds/Adams go, and then somehow that guy managed to get to the army base to carry out this grudge. I think that was a little muddy in terms of the logistics of that.
Right, and also the fact that he's coming there to shoot Salazar, and he's like, hey, Salazar, let me shoot your daughter, just to be an uber jerk right now. Now, that guy is real
pretty nice to Reynolds, from what I recall.
Yeah, she was also basically saying, hey, Dad, don't shoot Reynolds. Don't shoot Reynolds. And then Reynolds shoots her? What a prick. It's also just not a great plan.
Also, not a great shot for an army guy, but again, his arm was kind of messed up.
Right? Yeah, if he's going to shoot her, at least make it count.
Are you mad at the show, before we get to Travis, for shooting Ophelia, but then it was just a flesh wound?
Just a flesh wound. Yeah, it kind of undercuts the moment. I mean, I am glad that she survived, because I feel like for Daniel Salazar to lose his wife and his daughter basically in one moment, I think would be too far for that character. I think that would send him to too much of a tailspin. And I think that, save that moment for later on down the line if we're going to go there. I think killing off one family member is enough. But if they're going to shoot her at all, maybe have it be a little bit more, full of consequences, I think would have been nice. It was kind of soft.
A little bit of a pet peeve of mine when characters on TV shows, like characters in the main cast of TV shows, get shot and then they're fine. It's sort of a cheap move. But that being said, let's talk about Travis and the ramifications of Travis 2.0.
Yeah, he had his Rick Grimes moment, right?
Yeah.
This is I kind of feel like it was you have this scene in the Walking Dead premiere, the series premiere, where Rick Grimes, for the first time you see him, there's this little girl, this zombified little girl in the parking lot. And she's, coming up to him, and he's just encountered this kind of thing for the first time, and he doesn't really know what to do. And he very reluctantly holds up the gun and is like, I'm sorry, little zombie girl. And he shoots her. And that's the first thing you see of Rick. Rick has to accept this new world order really, really fast in that first episode. And I feel like this season, now that it's over, of Fear the Walking Dead, I think we can feel pretty safe about the idea that this was about one guy coming to grips with this world, in Travis's storyline at least. And he's finally had his Rick moment at the end of this thing, that he is forced to kill someone who is not the woman he loves anymore, but is the mother of his child, is someone he loved once upon a time, at some level still loves. And this is a guy who was very adamant about we don't have to kill, we don't have to be monsters, we don't have to do this, we don't have to do that. And he's forced to kill this woman at the end of this thing. And we have this great line from Madison, and it's called back in this episode of it'll break him if he has to do this. So let's see what a broken Travis looks like. I think that's an interesting take on the character.
Did you think it was a bit of a cop-out that he did not kill that army guy?
Well, I think that it would have undercut the moment that we got with Liza. You know, I don't think that the Liza moment would have been as powerful if he had killed the army guy.
Okay. And so now we have Travis. Is Travis officially a badass, or is he still somebody who is still coming to terms with who he is?
I think that'll be the interesting question that season 2 has to answer. I guess it depends on how quickly we run into some of these pirates on the open seas. I think
don't know if we're necessarily doing the pirates.
We're going pirates. Just let me have this for now. We have no idea. I want pirates. Whatever adversity is coming these people way, you know, some sort of adversity is coming up. And however Travis reacts to that, that's up in the air. But I would guess that the fact that Travis was able to kill his ex-wife says to me that this is a guy who's going to be much more prepared to deal with some of this baggage that has been going on in this world that he hasn't really been dealing with head on yet.
Are you surprised that Liza didn't say goodbye to Chris?
Yes, I am. I think that the way that this all played out was pretty funky. You know, she does say goodbye in her way, but it's a one-sided goodbye where she's not letting him know, and she's not letting anybody know. She doesn't know that Madison is going to follow her or Travis is going to follow her. They just end up following her, and it's very fortuitous that happens. But you would like to think that this could have been like a family decision, right? Like, come on, everybody, let's sit down. Let's figure out how we're going to do this.
I mean, she's in a very similar position that Blue Sky Bob was in the regular Walking Dead during season 5. And it's like, okay, I've been bitten. Got a couple of good days left. Why don't I mean, it seems like this is the wrong time to, I understand the move ultimately,
right?
But it did seem about, 24, 48 hours premature.
Yeah, it seemed quick. Like you could have ridden it out a little bit while, it wasn't like the worst bite we've ever seen. We've seen people with worse bites last longer. She was really in a rush to get out of there. I mean, you just got into this like amazing mansion. You could like take advantage of like a party day before you go, don't you think?
Swim in the ocean.
Yeah. Eat some of the food. Get like a last meal in there.
Say goodbye to my kid.
Say goodbye. Like spend some time with your kid. Especially because she's been away from the kid for a while.
Right. Even Susu wrote a note. And the other thing, too, is that Liza had already given Chris this big abandonment complex with the fact that she just got in the car with Dr. Exner and went to the compound a few episodes earlier without saying goodbye. And now she's doing it again. They just reunited for like 5 minutes, and now she's off and she's doing it again. Yeah, so not cool, Liza. Not the best way to ultimately go out.
Yeah, I took issue with that as well. I think that some family planning would have been nice. But what do you think? What kind of Travis do you think that we're going to get in season 2 of Fear the Walking Dead? Yeah. What would your guess be?
I mean, I think we're going to get a much tougher Travis. I think we're going to get a Travis. I don't think he's going to be Rick Grimes, but I think that he is going to be somebody who is probably closer to Daniel than somebody that we've seen at all with Travis in season 1. So I think that the people that are going to be able to survive in this world are the people that are going to be able to adapt.
Yeah.
And it does seem as though Travis, and we had our doubts, and we wondered whether Travis was going to make it through season 1. It seems like he is going to be much better equipped to handle whatever is coming in season 2.
Right. Do you think that Travis and Daniel are going to be able to get on the same page and be buddies, even though Travis's actions got Daniel's daughter shot in the arm? Are they going to be able to get over that?
I think so. Little shot in the arm is nothing for where Daniel is concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, he think that. I mean, he just spent an entire episode cutting up this other dude's arm.
Yeah,
he's good with arm wounds. Gets over that pretty quickly.
I think so. Now, in fairness, though, Liza was the doctor. She was the person administering the treatment for this. And again, another reason why maybe it would have been nice if she could have hung around for a minute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she gave like the advice, like she wrote out the instructions for Salazar basically on her way out the door. She's like, yeah, just keep it clean. See you later. Bye.
That's it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, but she was she was definitely a very valuable member of this crew. I mean, she's certainly in terms of her occupation more valuable than say English lit teacher, guidance counselor. She brought some valuable skills to the table. being, someone with medical expertise. However, whatever level that was at, it's certainly more than anyone else in this group is able to put forward. So losing her and not even being able to bring Dr. Exner along for the ride, it's a disadvantage. It's not great.
Were you surprised that Exner did not make the trip?
Yeah, surprised and disappointed. I really liked that character. I thought that I like Sandrine Holt. I think she's a really good actress. I would have liked to have seen her make the trip. That would have been cool. I was surprised that she didn't come along. I thought that the way that the episode was going, the fact that they even circled back to her, I thought that that's where we were going. I thought that we were going to pick up Dr. Exner.
Yeah, she looked like she had the cow gun. She was ready to go.
Did she cow gun herself?
I think she did.
Oh, wow. That's a way to go to cow gun yourself?
Yeah.
Intense.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So ultimately, we also had in the episode, we had this plan to go and free Nick. I feel like that this was a plan with a lot of collateral damage. I mean, yes, it did work. Yes, they got Nick back. But how many hundreds of people lost their lives in sort of just collateral damage from this plan?
A lot of people died. It was messy. It was definitely, it was sacrificed tons of people for, saving 2, ultimately, maybe 3, but the third was already dead. And the second one ends up being dead as well. It was bad. It was not a great plan. And I think for a guy like Travis, who was like so hardcore anti-killing before this episode, to sign on for the plan that involves unleashing a horde of walkers upon these people, that was a bit of a leap, bit of a stretch.
I mean, did they talk that through where Daniel is like, okay, we're going to go free a couple thousand walkers that are in the sports arena. Then I'll lead them like the Pied Piper into the army base, and they'll kill everybody at the army base. It'll distract everybody, and we'll be able to break in and get Nick and Griselda.
Right. I think that's exactly how he thinks. It's like, oh, you're going to love it. I'm going to be like the Pied Piper of zombies. It's going to be great. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it very much. Because he knows that he would like that from a storytelling standpoint. I don't know how you get Travis to sign off on that plan, but there's no arguing about it. So you got to assume that he was good with it. It's a big leap. It's definitely a big leap. The balls on Salazar, by the way, to just like be on foot and walk through the gates basically with a horde of walkers behind him. And these military men on the fence, just like with high-powered weapons trained at him. This is a very ballsy guy, Salazar.
Like, I know they're slow, but come on.
They're not that slow, especially when there's like a giant army of these things.
Yeah, but he really sold it.
You bring that line up, too, like, they're slow. That line that Strand says to Nick when he's like, hey, Strand, don't move any closer to them. He's like, it's fine, they're slow. Some of these guys are just real macho men, huh?
Yeah. And again, this is the early days. This is not like on The Walking Dead where they've been around for like 3 years.
Yeah, they don't know what's up yet.
Okay, so the boat. What is that? Strand's boat? Is that somebody else's boat? He knows of it. It's Abigail.
Yeah, Abigail's his little lady. I assume that it's his boat, or if it's not his boat, it's a neighbor's boat. It's a boat that he's. It's Penny's boat, yeah. I believe Penny's boat's name is the Searcher. I'm probably messing that up. Somebody in the chat room can correct me. But yeah, he knew Abigail was going to be there. So let's go hunt down Abigail. Let's hop on Abigail and let's get out to sea. It's a good deal.
But if it's his boat, why isn't it at a dock?
That's a great question, because this is a guy who seems like he wants things to be in control. He wants to be in control of his life. He's prepared. He says this. He says, we're going back to my place. I'm prepared for this. So he must have been ready. He must have been ready for the worst case scenario. He keeps his boat on hand. All
right. So if Strand is this guy who takes care of everything, answer me this. How did he end up in the military jail?
Excellent question. Yeah, he must have owed a guy some sort of money. He must have gotten in some kind of trouble.
Because he seems like a guy who would know how to play all the angles. He seems like the last person that would get captured into a military jail.
Right. Yeah, he just must have been a wrong place, wrong time sort of deal. He does not seem like the kind of guy that's getting himself caught in this really casual military prison in Gen Pop, essentially. If anything, he's going to get like that real world-class criminal treatment. I don't know if the military had those kinds of cells available, if they were overcrowded or whatever, but I don't know how this guy got himself locked up in that situation.
Okay.
There's a lot more to find out about Strand, which I'm excited about because it seems like he'll be a part of the show, at the very least for a little while. He's a guest star who came into the season really late in the game, but he's around now. We're going to go out on his boat, all of this stuff. So I'm excited that he's still going to be in the mix. I thought that he was a really great addition to the cast.
One of the questions I saw from the chat was, did you think they made enough out of the fact that they've learned now that anytime anybody dies, they come back as a walker?
Yeah, they really were pretty calm about that. But I think, they've been living with that information for a little while now. I mean, the first thing that they saw, the first walker that they saw was a guy who was not bitten. It was the friend that Nick had killed. So they've been living with that information for a little while, that if you get sick, however you come back, or if you die, you come back as this thing. So I don't think that it was a major, major revelation in this episode. I think that it was something that they've been living with for a little while.
Yeah. Okay. And so we also got a beat on, literally a beat on Chris and Alicia when they were hiding in the car, and then Chris got beat up by some army guys who stole the SUV.
Yeah, Chris is kind of the new Carl, I feel like. He's just sort of like the little bit of the weenie kid who's just going to get himself into trouble. He's going to stand up to the wrong guy, and he's going to get penalized for it. So, yeah, we saw him standing up to these guys, and he gets a little bit of a beat down. He has the stones himself to punch one of those guys in the face, but then he just gets knocked out in one shot, and it's done.
Yeah. Okay. And then also we had from tonight, Nick is reunited with his mom. Were you happy to see this reunion between Nick and Maddie?
Part of me was thinking that Madison, when she was saying, I'm sorry, and he's like, well, for what? I really wanted to be like, for kicking your ass. And you know what? I'm not that sorry about it because it was really great and everyone wanted me to do it. I liked the reunion. I liked the reunion between them. I thought it was good. Nick really ping-pongs, back and forth in this addiction storyline a little bit too much for me. Like right now, he seems really stable and legit. Is he just through the detox all of a sudden? Is this just Nick in a good moment? I'm not really sure, but he's seeming pretty blue sky Nick at the end of this finale where he's saying like, I've basically been living in this kind of haze for a while now, and now everybody has just caught up with me. Now you guys get to live in my world.
Okay. Anything else from your perspective on the season finale of season 1?
Were you surprised? I mean, I guess the situation escalates so fast that we don't even get to see what humane termination looks like. So what would that have looked like, do you think? What would humane termination have been?
Well, I feel like we sort of got to see what the end result of that was
right?
like, right?
Yeah. Inhumane termination.
Yeah. Seemed like they sort of like had like an incinerator going or something.
Yeah. It was intense. Yeah. Everyone was very upset to see that.
Yeah. Were you surprised with the time jump in this episode? It did not seem like that they were in the cell. Again, I don't know what time they got there, but it seemed like very quickly it was nighttime, and then we cut to they were walking outside. It was
daytime. I would guess it was probably like a 4 a.m. raid. I'm going to call that a 4 a.m. raid. That looks like a 4 to 5 a.m. raid, is I think what we were looking at. So, it's fine. It's a flexible thing. TV shows do it all the time. I'm not that bummed about it. It's no 9-day time jump between episodes 5 and 6. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Probably the water cooler moment of the episode, I think, has to be helicopter guy.
Helicopter douche. That was awesome. That guy was...
I don't think that guy was quite a douche. I think I felt bad for him.
Dopey thing to do. I mean, you're a military guy. I get that you just got bitten, so your senses are dulled and all this stuff.
But bit his jugular, got ripped out of him.
Great. It was not great, and maybe I'm being mean. Someone says he's not a douche, but he was an idiot. Fine, helicopter idiot. How about that? Helicopter dolt, if you will. This guy, he's a military man. He should know his way around a helicopter. He needs to take a much wider left than he took. That was a very sharp left.
I mean, I think he was done either way, and maybe it was intentional.
Yeah, you think that he was just like, I'm done. I'm out. Just a quick sprint. Quick sprint to the
jugular ripped out. Yeah. What does he have? Like 10 more minutes?
I don't know. I don't even in that situation. I don't know. Listen, you're not going to catch me running most days of the week in any situation, but I don't think that I've got it in me to run into a helicopter blade. Okay. I don't think that's in my skill set.
I think that's ambiguous still whether or not he intentionally ran into it. Okay. You want to get into some questions?
Yeah, let's hop into some of these questions here. Do you want to tell the people how to get their questions in?
Okay, so a couple of things. Of course, you can post your questions here in the chat room on Blab. You can also, Josh has questions from our post-show recaps page. And we'll take some quick questions also if you want to jump on and ask them yourself. Just make sure you have your headphones in and have a solid connection.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Ready.
Let's start with Cabin Douche, because Cabin Douche is a great, loyal friend of the podcast. Cabin Douche says, were all those walkers from the arena? Seems to me, yes. Seems to me that Daniel Salazar knew where that horde of walkers was, and he went to the arena, and he unlocked it, and he Pied Pipered all of the walkers from the arena.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, they sort of had that set up. I feel like the electricity in terms of this episode was kind of inconsistent, that some things had no power, but the arena was still all powered up. I mean, what was the point of keeping the power going to the arena?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, the power, the electricity has been inconsistent wildly throughout all of season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead. We've seen it blinking in and out. So maybe that's just, more power grid nonsense going on.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get another question. This is from Rob Allison on PostShowRecaps.com. Still not sure what skills Nick has that are essential for Strand to have on Abigail or the zombie apocalypse. It's definitely not fashion coordinator. Yeah, and just again, Nick is still wearing the same clothes that he's been wearing since the beginning of the series.
Yes. I'm also hearing from Umberto on Twitter that they did a whole segment on that on Fear the Talking Dead.
Fear the Talking Dead?
Yeah,
I was watching that for a minute. I have it on in the background right now. It's on mute. Nick
good. Did pickpocket the key off of Strand, so
that was impressive.
Demonstrate some usefulness.
Yeah. If he can get one over on Strand, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take
that was pretty good. I liked that. I really hope that we get a wardrobe change. This guy. Frankly, this is actually great news that everybody's holed up at Strand's house for a little while because they all have access to his super sleek wardrobe. So I hope that everyone is just wearing like Armani suits in season 2 of Fear the Walking Dead.
That'd be very nice.
I feel like that would be really good. This is a question from Dave Backer on PostShowRecaps.com. What did you think of the special effects in the finale, specifically LA in ruins and the hundreds, if not thousands, of walkers at the base? What did you think about this, Rob? How do you think that the effects budget was utilized in this episode? Was it good? Thumbs up?
It was just as good as any episode of the regular Walking Dead.
Yeah, it was good stuff, right?
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Did you like that it was kind of like an episode of True Detective season 2 at the start of this episode?
Yes,
just like all these aerial shots of Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's very good.
Just no super depressed lady in a bar playing guitar.
Thank goodness. Not yet.
Not yet. We're moving towards that.
Not yet. Okay. I want to go ahead and try to see if we could take some questions from our listeners.
Bring someone in?
I'm going to try to bring somebody in.
Oh my gosh.
If it works. Doesn't always work. Yeah. What's your next question?
All right. Let's get this from Alan Karnofsky, who says, when Ophelia got shot, why did no one care? They were all just staring at Travis beating down on Army Douche. That's kind of a fair point. Everyone's like, Army Douche, the nerve of this guy. Beat him up, Travis. No one was like, oh, Ophelia, your arm, are you okay? Yeah. It's really only Salazar was kind of worried about it.
What do you think was behind the emotion that Travis beating up the Reynolds / Adams?
What was Travis? Because Travis was like, I should have not let you go. This is my fault. I'm an idiot. That was so stupid of me.
Was angry. Oh, you made me look stupid?
Yeah,
or
I'm so mad that you did that? Dumb. You made me look so dumb. I think that was a big piece of it. Of he was angry at himself and he's angry at this guy. So he's taking it out on the guy that he went light on. And I feel like he's thinking that he made a major mistake here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a question from Coach's Beard. Did the group just get stranded? Yeah, I get it. That's good. I like that. This is a question.
Yet. I think they're going to get stranded.
They're getting stranded. They're in the process of getting stranded. This is a question from Trust for President. How does the first season of Fear the Walking Dead stack up against season 1 of The Walking Dead? It's a good question. What's your take on that, Rob? Do you have a feeling?
I think that the first season of The Walking Dead, I think, is pretty strong. I think that there were a couple of sort of so-so episodes, but I think that it starts really well, and then I think that it has a pretty exciting finish to the first season.
Right.
From what I remember, I haven't ever gone back and rewatched.
CDC.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty exciting first 6 episodes with a great first episode as well.
Yeah.
And so I think that probably if I'm going to compare the two, I think that the original is the better one.
I think that I hear that. I see Teddy Bluebear in the chat room saying Walking Dead over Fear the Walking Dead as far as seasons go. I think that one thing I would say in Fear's defense is I don't feel like there was really a wasted episode. I don't feel like there was too much of a yada yada episode, unless you want to say like the the assault at the house with Susu and everything. I know that you were maybe a little bit low on that. The dog, is that fair to say, Rob?
That was fine.
It was fine. It was fine. But I mean, I'm thinking about
the first episode to me was the most wasted episode of the first season.
But I feel like it's setting up the story that's going to be told throughout Fear the Walking Dead. I feel like in terms of like a closed arc, I feel like Fear the Walking Dead, and we're still really, it's still very recent. It's right in the rear view mirror. We've gotten no distance away from it. I feel like the story that was being set out to be told here with this family, with the Manawas, with the Clarks, and getting them together and getting them to come to grips with this new world order, that felt like a more complete one-off season coherent story than what we got in the first season of Walking Dead. I'm thinking like an episode of like the one where they go back into Atlanta and there's like the medical ward or the mental ward, and it's kind of just the
old folks home.
Episode, the old folks home.
Yeah,
there's like a little
taking care of the old folks.
Yeah, there's a little bit of treading water in that first season as well. So I feel like in terms of it being like a coherent, consistent season, I think that maybe Fear has the edge, but I don't think that it has the same amount of breakout levels that the original Walking Dead, starting with that pilot episode for sure, and several other episodes as well.
Let me ask you a more thought-provoking question. Who do you think is going to have the better second season, The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead?
Well, it's a low benchmark for Fear the Walking Dead to clear. I don't know. Is the ocean going to be the new Herschel's Farm, though?
Yep.
That's a much smaller set. Yeah. Strand's Ocean is going to be really, really difficult if we are just on that boat the entire time.
I think it's going to be hard to come up with stories week after week if we stay on the boat for long.
Well, I can't imagine that that's what's going to happen. I can't imagine that we're just staying on that boat forever. The question is, where is the show going? I think it's kind of a big deal, actually, that it seems like, this show was billed as the California Walking Dead or the Los Angeles Walking Dead. But at the very least, it looks like we're leaving Los Angeles. Are we leaving Los Angeles too soon for your liking, or do you think that this is appropriate timing?
Depends where we're going. Are we actually going to leave Los Angeles, or are we just going to go out on a boat for an episode or two?
Trust for President says we're leaving for Asia.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that where we're going?
I mean,
how about Hawaii?
Do you think that we will potentially pick up season 2 on the boat, and like 4 months, 5 months have gone by, and now we have to come back because we're out of supplies or something like that?
Well, Walking Dead usually does time jumps between seasons. It's usually, I don't know what it's going to look like between season 5 and season 6, but between seasons 4 and season 5, there wasn't much of a time jump. But more often than not, I feel like months have passed, weeks have passed. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. I like that idea. I think that would be good to skip some time. I don't want to see Chris and Travis just like stewing in their morning with Liza and everything. Not to be insensitive to Liza. She was fantastic. I miss her already, kind of. But I don't want to see them just like really, really being upset about it for, a good stretch of season 2. I think that some time skipping ahead, I think would be good. I think that'd be nice.
Okay. In terms of the Walking Dead webisode, what's going on with that?
Oh, it's like Flight something or other. It's this web series, Flight 462, says Dave Background Pusher, recaps.com. It's going to be 2-minute webisodes that are going to be airing in between commercial segments on episodes of Walking Dead. The goal is that one of the characters, it's going to be this zombie outbreak on an airplane story that is told over the course of several weeks. And the person, one of the people from this online series is going to be a series regular in season 2. So what are the odds, Rob, that story ends with a plane crashing in the ocean and season 2 picks up with the people on the boat seeing a plane crash and having to come to their rescue? How about that?
That's pretty good. That's very Lost.
Very Lost? That's where my head's at. I'd like to see that. I think that would be good.
I think that's pretty good. So the first episode is already up for the webisode, and then a new one is coming up every week?
If it's up, that's news to me. I mean, we just watched this episode and hopped on here, so I haven't had time to investigate, but I've seen a couple people say that it's up. Yeah, I'm seeing in the chat room right now, Real TLN says, yes, it's up. Is it any good? Any of you guys watch it yet? Very short, says Real TLN. Any good? Garbage, says Trust for President. Not great.
Yeah. Teddy in the chat wants to know, when do we get season 2? Is it next summer?
Oh, they haven't announced an air date for season 2 yet. My guess is it's going to come on sometime shortly after Walking Dead wraps up season 6. So I would guess April would probably be my bet for when we're going to get the next part.
Do you think they go right out of? So this is a real Walking Dead sandwich where Fear the Walking Dead is the bread, and then we're
Yeah.
going to get the meat of The Walking Dead, the tainted meat, all
The
in the
tainted
middle.
meat. Oh,
Yes.
man. Yeah, I think that's what we're looking at.
All right,
That would be
pretty
my
wild.
guess. That'd be my bet. Coach's Beard says 13 episodes next season. So it
You
is
don't
a big.
think that they go with maybe the 13 episodes leading into the episodes from this season, from season 7 of Walking Dead? So basically,
No, I think that it could. I think that could work as well. I think it could work as well. I have no idea. It's going to be a lot of Walking Dead. You know, if it's a 13 episode season 2 of Fear the Walking Dead, that's a big season of Fear the Walking Dead. So that's a lot of Walking Dead that we're going to be getting in 2016. I have no idea how AMC plans to schedule, especially when they got into the Badlands to be promoting.
okay.
All right. Does that look good to you?
Look, the
martial arts thing?
Yeah, I think it looks okay. I feel like that could be really good or really lame.
Feels like prime Most Shows recapped material.
Okay. Let's take a question from we have a live caller.
What's going on?
Hey
Hello,
guys, how's it going?
Rob
This
Cesternino.
is from Ausips.
Yes, sir. I just want to ask a question. Who do you think the new Daryl on the Fear the Walking
Salazar.
Dead is this season?
Old man
Who do you think
Daryl.
Daryl is.
Old Daryl.
Old man Daryl. What do you guys think?
Who do you think? the
Old
Daryl
man
is
Salazar? He's the only one who's like he's like cutting people up, he's torturing people, he's got total Dixon qualities.
And what'd you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down for Fear the Walking Dead this season? That's cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Like,
Cliff
he's got
Curtis
a little
hanger.
bit More violent.
Okay.
Cliff Curtis hanger.
All right. Thanks so much for the call. I appreciate it. Okay. Take care. Bye. All right. There you
Sweet. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yeah, man.
What do you think?
It's sad that it's over so fast. Fear the Walking Dead. It was really just a blitzkrieg, but I guess there's no time to be upset because we're going right back to Alexandria next week. There's no rest whatsoever.
All right. Well, we will be picking up our coverage live after each episode of the first half of The Walking Dead Season 6. From all accounts, you just see all these articles of every single person from The Walking Dead. Oh, Season 6 is insane.
Yeah, they always say that. They always say that. What I will say, though, is we are at this moment on the show as it lines up with where Walking Dead is in the comics at this same point in the story, where lots of crazy shenanigans should be happening. So if they stick close to the comics, it should be really cool. Even when they don't stick close to the comics, it's always exciting. So I'm excited to see what they got in store. I think that Season 6 could be really big. And I've heard good buzz from people who like the show. I know that some people who've seen it already really like what they saw. So we're a week away. Let's see what we think. And let's talk about it some more later this week. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we'll be talking about our Fear the Walking Dead Season 1. Plus, I guess we'll probably get into the webisode as well. Plus, we will also preview the Walking Dead proper on our weekly scripted TV and movie talk show here on the post-show recaps called Most Shows Recap.
That's such a creative name. I really like it.
Very creative. We'll be doing that on Friday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And we do that on blab.im as well. So you can catch that live or you can hear it in the archives on postshowrecaps.com.
Yeah. And we'll have special guest star AJ Mass, who's going to be on the live show next week. He's going to be on board for Most Shows Recap this week as well. So that'll be really fun.
Very exciting. All right, Josh, do you have a hashtag for this episode?
Ooh, hashtag for this one. Helicopter idiot.
Helicopter idiot.
Hashtag helicopter idiot. We're deviating away from the douche. Too many hashtag blank douche. So let's go hashtag helicopter idiot.
Yeah. I feel
like
bad
that.
for Helicopter Idiot.
I feel bad for him, but come on. You got to know. It was a sharp left.
Yeah. He was just doing his job, and then
He
he
was
got
just doing
bit by
his
a
job.
walker, and he didn't know what was going
He
on.
didn't know what was going on. So you don't like calling him an idiot. You want to call him helicopter hero? What do you want to call him, Rob?
He wasn't a hero.
He wasn't a hero.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
heroes.
Well,
no
good
heroes in
stuff.
this world.
All right, Josh. Well, I can't wait to get into talking about some Walking Dead with you this fall. That's going to be very fun. You can
Yeah, I'm
follow
pumped.
Josh on Twitter. He's at Round Howard. I am at Rob Cesternino. Looking forward to that. Don't if you're interested in the Muppets, also Josh and I talked the Muppets earlier this weekend on Most Shows Recap. You can just check that out on postshowrecaps.com. And then also it's the return of the Leftovers.
Woo! Yes. Yeah, The Leftovers. It just premiered. I actually have to get off of this podcast and watch it so that I can podcast about it with Antonio Mazzaro. But we're going to be recapping Leftovers all season long on season 2. We recapped season 1, had a really good time, myself and Antonio Mazzaro, and we're going to be doing that all throughout season 2, coming up. So look out for that to be hitting postshowrecaps.com/iTunes. Subscribe there, and that will be coming your way on Monday afternoon.
And just a quick shout out, thanks to Justin Holcomb, who did the recaps of this podcast all season long for Fear the Walking Dead. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Justin.
Awesome job, Justin.
Everybody have a good week. We will be back on Sunday night to talk about the premiere of The Walking Dead 1 week from tonight. Subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you don't miss it at postshowrecaps.com/TWD iTunes. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.